pleasure.
All right, I want to turn now to Congressman Jamie Raskin, Democrat of Maryland, who's a member of both the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees. Congressman Raskin, thanks for being with us. Talk about this Donald Trump refusing to rule out a pardon when asked about it this morning. What do you make of that?
Well, back when he pardoned Sheriff Arpaio and Scooter Libby and Dinesh D'Souza, he was clearly sending a message to the people involved in this case that he stands by his friends. And now, again, he's making positive noises about pardons in order to make certain that Paul Manafort stays on his side. I mean, essentially, what I read the strategy to be is, well, go through the trial and see if you can get off. And if you can't, I'll take care of you later. This is a president who, from the firing of James Comey all the way through the constant denunciation of Attorney General Sessions, Rod Rosenstein, Mueller, has been doing everything in his power to destroy and disrupt and derail this investigation.
You heard Daniel Goldman saying that this jury seems to be diligent. They wouldn't probably break their rules by listening to something the president said today. I think it was awfully strange, though, that the president decided to opine on what a great guy Paul Manafort was and what a terrible case this is and how sad and unfair it is during jury deliberations.
Well, it's important to remember how extreme and aberrant his behavior is as president. I mean, it's very hard to think of another president who has worked so doggedly to contaminate the jury pool of the Eastern District of Virginia or the District of Columbia, or indeed the jury pool that is the United States of America. He spends all of his time trying to obstruct and destroy this investigation. He wakes up thinking about it. He goes to sleep thinking about it. It's all he does. He doesn't work on infrastructure. He doesn't work on health care. He's not working on any public policy issue of importance to the American people. He's just focused on this investigation. And as one of my Republican colleagues, Trey Gowdy, said several months ago, he's certainly not acting like an innocent man.
Let me ask you about what happens if there's a pardon involved. You're on the Judiciary Committee. Is there anything you can do about it?
Well, let's start with the legal analysis. Some people have said that the president's pardon power is completely unlimited in the Constitution, and that's not true. There are very few things in the Constitution that are not limited by other powers that are built into the Constitution. If you take an extreme example, if a president decided to put pardons up for sale, it may be that the actual pardons themselves are unreviewable in court, but they certainly would be reviewable by Congress. That is, those could be impeachable events. That is, if he takes bribes for passing out pardons, or if he passes out pardons in order to thwart justice and interfere with the rule of law, that in itself could constitute an impeachable event, or it could constitute certainly an event that Congress could look into through the oversight power. Now, unfortunately, because of the GOP's decision basically to disregard its constitutional duties, we are not using the oversight power of Congress to look into each of these sequential events of obstruction of justice that the president is engaged in. But it's very important, at least for us, to use our First Amendment rights and for the media to surface exactly what's going on.
If the House flips in 81 days, what's your first priority? Because there are a lot of things you're talking about here. What would you do?
Well, we've got a backlog of literally hundreds of requests into everything from the abuse of the president's pardon power to the abuse of the power to give people access to national security secrets, to obstruction of justice, to the Emoluments Clause. I mean, we're going to have a hell of a time trying to figure out how to prioritize everything that's going on. But we've got to do everything in our power to restore the rule of law and respect for the Constitution, the First Amendment, the free the rights of the people. I mean, that's what we've got to do. That's what Congress needs to be doing. The president's role under our Constitution is not to be a king. The role of the president is to take care that the laws are faithfully executed. This president has been taking care that the laws are successfully thwarted and derailed at every turn. And so we have to do everything for making sure that they're not thwarting the Affordable Care Act, that people are getting the health care that they need, that they are not giving the Department of Education away to private for-profit schools in ways that override the due process rights of students and that override the rule of law in every department.
It's an impressive to-do list. You know, it's kind of interesting when your to-do list starts off with restore the rule of law and protect the Constitution. You know it's going to be a busy day if that's what it starts.